It's been a mini-series on Netflix now for a few weeks, and I don't see anybody talking about it. So, let's do that.
A soliloquy for every movie. For Casablanca, Tommy Boy. He's here, it's him. It's Andrew Todd.
Now, I remember having to read Lord of the Flies in the 10th grade, but I don't actually remember reading it. But before I even knew that Netflix was putting this story out, coincidentally enough, I read Lord of the Flies earlier this year. And as a book review, yes, very good. Good on you, Santa Clarita School District, for not making every assigned book a total bore. Now let's talk about the miniseries. Right out of the gate, the cinematography and the locations are absolutely stunning. It was just so refreshing not to be trapped in a soundstage for once. I haven't actually verified to see if it was actually filmed on location, but either way, well done. And what surprised me was that this film is artsy. And not in like a pretentious Wes Anderson sort of way, but there are some creative choices that help move the story along a little bit quicker. And I like that because they know that 85% of the people that watch this have already read the book. However, for every consolidation, there are 5 scenes of the kids running or hunting or hiking. Right? I don't know, maybe it was just to show off how beautiful the landscape was that they found. I didn't know how long the show was going to be when I got into it. But when I wrapped up with episode 3, I was pretty much done. I called it. Like, I got what the show was all about. I saw what it was doing, and I appreciated it, and I applauded it for what it did. Then when I saw that there was just one episode left, I decided to just finish it off and watch that final episode. I think that up front, Netflix really wanted a 4-episode show. Not a 90-minute movie, not a 2-part show, which is really all it needed to be. 4 episodes, and not one less. I mean, the book is like this. It was The Hobbit all over again. But to the filmmakers' credit, they didn't add too much to the miniseries. I mean, yeah, there's a few flashback scenes every once in a while where it shows the kids on land and they're talking to their parents, and you're supposed to gather from that how they became the kid they do on the island. They weren't necessary at all. I just felt like those scenes were obligations to help pad the runtime and get some adults on the film. But when your boss says you need to make a 4-episode miniseries based off of a book that's 12 pages long, you've got to do what you can do to pad that runtime. And I honestly don't think they overdid it. But again, it was just so much running and contemplating and thinking and chanting. Somebody really does need to cut this down to a 90-minute film and put it on YouTube. I think that's going to make this whole thing a whole lot more digestible. And it does stick closely to the book. I mean, they do change the death of one major character, but they really did good with what they had to work with. But the reason I had to make a video about this miniseries, other than the fact that nobody else was, so that probably means it's good, was to gush about the actors. I'm telling you, these kids can act circles around the Avengers cast and around most of Hollywood's A-listers. And maybe it's the casting director that deserves all the credit, because they didn't even need to tell you what these kids' names were in the book. You just looked at each kid and you're like, yep, that's Ralph, that's Piggy, those are the twins. Like, it reminded me of when I watched The Passion of the Christ. They did the same thing with the disciples. Like, you can, for me anyway, I could look at any of the disciples that are cast in that movie and be like, oh, that's who that is. That's exactly who I imagined John to be. And they did the same thing here, which I really appreciate. Typecasting isn't always bad. All the boys were great. But the real standout here was Piggy, played by David McKenna. Like, I really felt for this kid. He's chubby, he's got glasses, he's being mocked, he's being pushed around. He's essentially all alone on this island full of boys. Like, I just wanted to give Piggy a big bear hug and tell him that everything was going to be all right. Except if you know the story, it's just not the case. IYKYK. And Winston Sawyers, who played Ralph, did a great job playing the role of the leader, albeit a confused and conflicted one. He just has this like perpetual confused look in his face, but his entire image looks like a leader. It's really well casted. And that's what I like, not only about the show, but about the book as well, is that there are just so many layers to these characters. And both the director and these boys really know how to dig those layers up and present us with all of their ticks and nuances. Now, I'm not going to let my kids see this until they're about 16, not because it's too violent or crass, it's not at all crass, but the mood of the show is just so heavy and dark. If you've read the book, you know that there's really no levity to this story. But I really can't wait to show it to them and have them read the book so that we can discuss how easily people can fall into very base behaviors. And then it opens up the question of how do some people allow themselves to do that and others don't? What's the key difference between the two? There is violence in it, and there are some very intense images. And as far as recommendations go, I definitely recommend the first 2 to 3 episodes. And then just watch the last one in speed mode, because it really is just trying to catch up to the book and just trying to wrap it up, but very, very slowly. So if you already know how the story goes, you're not going to lose anything from watching it in fast forward. Have you seen Lord of the Flies? What do you think is better, the book or the show? Let me know down below, and I will see you in the next video.